The Fisherwoman and Her Husband. The fisherwoman is played by Fiona. The husband is played by Fred. The goldfish is played by Al. Once upon a time, there was a fisherwoman who lived with her husband by the sea. Even though they were very poor, with very little food to eat and a boat filled with holes, she was happy. Every day, the woman would walk down the pier to catch fresh fish for dinner. One day, she caught a shiny goldfish. But this wasn't a regular goldfish. When she took the fish out of the water, it started to talk. "I am a fairy fish," he said. "If you throw me back, I will grant you a wish." The woman smiled to the fish. "That's okay," she said. "We have all that we need. I'll throw you back anyway." "Are you sure?" the goldfish asked. "It looks like you need a new boat," he said, pointing his fins toward the broken boat. "Well, we could use a new boat to help us fish," the woman said. So the goldfish waved his fins and granted her a brand new boat. "Thank you so much," the woman said as she put the goldfish back into the sea. The woman ran back up the pier to tell her husband, a grumpy man who was never happy. "We need more than just a boat," he yelled when he heard his wife feed the fish. "Go find that goldfish and tell him to give us a new house." The woman wanted to make her husband happy, so she went back down the pier where the goldfish was still swimming by the dock. "I'm sorry to bother you," the woman said, "but my husband wants a new house." The goldfish poked his head out of the water and smiled. "You are so kind to set me free that I will grant you another wish." The goldfish waved his fins and transformed their rickety old house into a giant castle. The woman jumped for joy, thanking the goldfish as she ran back home to tell her husband. But her husband still wasn't happy. "A castle is not enough," he roared. "We must have lots of gold to spend as well. Tell that fish he needs to give us as much gold as we want." The woman went back to the goldfish and asked for one more wish. "I'm sorry to bother you again," the woman said, "but I have one more wish. My husband wants lots of gold to fill the castle." The goldfish frowned, but he felt bad for the woman and granted her request. He waved his fins and gold coins began falling from the sky onto the castle. At first, the husband was happy, running around in the gold like it was raining. But soon, the coins fell faster and faster, and they didn't stop. "There's too much gold," the husband shouted. "It's going to crush us." The husband and woman ran back down the pier to beg the goldfish to make it stop. "I'll make it stop," the goldfish said, "but you'll have to give up everything I gave you. Is that okay?" "Yes," they both shouted as the gold coins continued to crush the castle and everything around it. "As you wish," the goldfish said as he waved his fins. The gold coins stopped falling. Then they disappeared. Then the castle disappeared. And finally, the boat. The fisherwoman and her husband were left with what they had before. "Are you happy now?" the goldfish asked. "Yes," the husband said, "and now I know that we should have been happy with what we had." The goldfish waved his fins one more time and then swam away. When the happy husband and wife turned to walk back towards the house, they saw that the new boat had been returned. The goldfish rewarded them for learning a lesson. From that day on, they never asked for more than they needed again, and they lived happily ever after. The end.